Is it possible to be on your tablet during takeoff? NBC says maybe, just as long as your seat is in the upright position and seatbelt is securely fastened.
The FAA will test digital reading devices and reconsider its ban on using them during taxi, takeoffs, and landings.
Like many things associated with airlines these days, those tests won't come cheap. The New York Times says it would be an expensive and time-consuming process. An airline must test each version of a single device before it can be approved by the FAA. For example, if the airline wanted to get approval for the iPad, it would have to test the first iPad, iPad 2, and the new iPad, each on a separate flight with no passengers on the plane. Each test has to be repeated for each plane model for each airline, a pricey process that a blogger for Phone Arena says will get manufacturers on board. On the flip side, there could be an advantage for a company to be able to advertise its tablet as FAA approved. So we may see companies with deep pockets, such as Apple, to foot the bill or at least contribute to the costs in order to get their products approved for use during takeoff, taxi, and landing. Business Insider says the policy is outdated and calls the FAA's bluff. If the tests reveal that there is even a tiny chance that a plane full of gadgets could bring a plane down, then of course gadget usage should be prohibited. But if there isn't any chance, then the FAA's stance is ridiculous. But CNET wonders if it's really necessary. Some might wonder, though, whether this whining is a little much. Essentially, we're talking about not being able to use your precious devices during takeoff and landing. Are human beings truly incapable of doing without these things for this total of, say, 1 hour? The FAA added the new lift on the electronic device ban will not consider the use of smartphones during takeoff or landing. For Newsy, I'm Megan Murphy. Multiple sources, The Real Story.